I spent a long time convincing myself that I was fine, that the silence in our home was peace, not emptiness, that his coldness was exhaustion, not contempt. I learned to call things by softer names than they truly were. He didn't break me abruptly. He did it slowly, day by day, almost imperceptibly, with glances that never lingered, with conversations he never listened to until the end, with a smile that carried more irony than warmth. "You're overcomplicating everything," he would say. "Don't make things up." And so I stopped explaining. Then I stopped asking. And eventually, I stopped feeling out loud. I remember the moment I realized I was no longer a wife, I was background. Convenient, silent, predictable. That was when the thought appeared, one I initially pushed away as something unworthy, dangerous. He has to feel it. Not pain. He was used to other people's emotions. He has to lose his balance. I wasn't looking for love. I was looking for a mirror, someone who would look at me as if I still existed. Everything was careful, almost sterile. Slow messages, unhurried meetings, a man who listened without interrupting, and that was enough. When it happened, I felt neither shame nor ecstasy, only a strange calm. I took a step I had long considered. Revenge always looks precise until you're standing on the other side of it. I waited for the world to shift, for my husband to notice the change, for a crack to appear in his gaze. But he remained the same. "You're late," he said one evening, not lifting his eyes from his phone. "Yes," I replied. And in that moment, I understood. I hadn't betrayed him. I had betrayed myself, the woman who once believed that love didn't need proof. Revenge didn't give me my voice back. It didn't make me stronger. It only showed me how deeply I had disappeared long before someone else appeared. I looked at myself in the mirror and saw a woman who had won a battle that should never have been fought. Because the real defeat isn't being broken, it's trying to piece yourself together from fragments using someone else's hands. That night, lying beside my husband, I thought not about guilt or fear of exposure. I thought about lost, quiet, old, almost forgotten myself. And then it became clear. Revenge is always a conversation with the past. And return is only possible when you move forward, not triumphantly, without accusations. You simply walk away. I didn't leave that day, nor the next. I needed more time, not for him, for myself. I watched us continue as if nothing had happened. How he asked what was for dinner. How he placed his keys in the same spot. How he failed to notice I had changed. It used to hurt. Now, didn't. Indifference stopped being an insult. It became proof. I still saw the other man, less often, without tension, without illusions. He wasn't a rescue, and I no longer tried to turn him into one. I didn't want to run to someone. I wanted to step out of who I used to be. Once, he looked at me carefully and asked, "You seem like you've already left. Why are you still here?" I didn't know how to answer, because for the first time in a long while, someone was asking a question without interrupting. That evening, came home early. The apartment was quiet. Not cozy, just quiet. I sat on the edge of the bed and suddenly realized I was no longer angry, and anger had been the only thing keeping me there. Without it, there was nothing left. I woke him. "We need to talk," I said calmly. He sighed, as usual, with mild irritation, as if I were once again interfering with his life. "Just don't make it dramatic." I smiled, not because it was funny, but because there truly was no drama left. "I'm leaving," I said. "Not to someone else. Away from us." He was silent. Then he asked, "Is it because of someone?" Once, that question would have been a trap. Now, it wasn't. "No," I said. "It's because I lost myself trying to be convenient for you." He didn't shout, didn't beg. He just stared with surprise, the way one looks at an object that suddenly stops working. I packed quickly, not because I was in a hurry, but because there was nothing unnecessary left. It's strange how easily life fits into a few bags once fear is gone. When I closed the door, I didn't feel relief, only clarity, quiet, steady. Revenge didn't give me freedom, but it showed me that freedom was possible. And walking down the dark stairwell, for the first time, I wasn't wondering if I was doing the right thing. I simply knew I no longer wanted to live where I was being slowly erased, and where I allowed it to happen. I didn't become better. I didn't become purer, but I became myself again. And that was enough. Months passed, maybe more. I stopped counting. The new space was almost empty, a mattress on the floor, a table by the window, a cup I bought myself without asking anyone's opinion. There was no loneliness in that emptiness. There was a pause, the first honest one. I noticed something strange. I no longer wanted him to understand anything. I used to imagine its sudden, painful realization. Regret. Him remembering me and thinking about what he lost. Now, those fantasies felt foreign, as if I were reading letters written by someone else. Sometimes he wrote, briefly, practically, about documents, belongings, formalities. Not once did he ask, "How are you?" And it didn't hurt anymore. It put a period at the end. I saw the other man a few more times. We drank coffee, talked about everything and nothing. He looked at me with the same attentiveness, but now I didn't cling to it. I no longer needed proof that I was worth a gaze. Once, I told him the truth. Not all of it, just the core. I wasn't with you out of love, I said. I was with you so I wouldn't disappear. He nodded. No offense. No scene. Grown up. I knew, he said. And that was enough at the time. We parted easily. That's not how you part with love. That's how you part with something that has fulfilled its role. The strangest thing happened later. One morning, I woke up and realized I no longer thought of myself as a woman who was betrayed or who betrayed. Those words lost their weight. They no longer defined me. I was simply a woman who left a story in time, one where she was being slowly erased. Revenge turned out not to be a weapon, but a symptom. A sign that the pain had gone too far. But even a symptom can point the way. Sometimes I think, if he had truly heard me back then, none of this would have happened. But that thought carries no anger. No, if only, just calm acceptance of a simple truth. Some people only hear you when you leave. I didn't get my former self back. She stayed there in years of patience and silence. But I created another one. One who no longer seeks revenge to prove her worth. One who leaves before she breaks completely. And maybe that is the real victory.